Hey y'all, welcome to Back Porch Cooking and Reminiscing. I'm Roger, and I sure am glad y'all decided to join us for a cooking video today. Today we're going to be doing a meal, and this meal is something that if you were alive 70 or 80 years ago, this meal may have been something you had for supper on a regular basis. In the hills and the mountains of Appalachia, money got tight a lot of times, and people just didn't have the money to be able to buy meat. And so, this meal that we're going to make today is the type of meal that you would have gotten when money was tight and times were hard. So, y'all sit back, relax, get you a cold iced tea, and we're going to get started making this here in just a minute.
That hickory smoke is hanging low and sweet. Rocking chair keeps that laid back beat. Got that beating condensation on a mason jar of tea. Ain't another single place I'd ever rather be. Yeah, the sun is setting gold and pink across the land, with a full plate and a cold glass sitting in my hand. Nothing better than this back porch kind of living. This back porch kind of living.
I usually do my history in the middle of the video, but today, because two of the things that we're making for this meal, I've already made it and we've got videos on it. So I'm going to leave you a link in the description for those videos, because what we've got is pinto beans and some cornbread. Now, the other thing we're going to be making, and this is the history part that I want to tell you about. Back when I was a kid, and I'm talking small, maybe 5, 6, 7 years old, we used to go to a little restaurant over in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and the name of it was Bees, Beas. And that restaurant is actually still in business today. When you walked into the restaurant, they had these big round tables all throughout the restaurant. And those tables would probably seat 8 to 10 people, I guess. And right in the middle of those tables was this huge Lazy Susan. And so when you went in, they would seat you. Now, here was the thing: you may be seated with 2 or 3 other families. And this was before cell phones and everything. So you sat there at the table, you ate, and you talked to these people that were sitting at your table. And you learned things about them. You learned who they were, where they were from, different things like that. Things that just don't happen nowadays. But if you were to go to Bees tomorrow, it's still that way. You will still get seated, and you may be seated with another family or 2 other families. When you would sit down, it was an all-you-could-eat style deal. But they brought the food out in containers, and the food was set on the Lazy Susan. And they always had fried chicken. They had usually some kind of a pot roast, maybe a Salisbury steak or hamburger steak, and then all kinds of different vegetables and sides to go with it. But the one thing that I loved the most were these little small potatoes that were in a cream sauce. And I'm telling you guys, I could eat my weight in those little potatoes. Everything else was great, and especially the fried chicken. But those little potatoes, that was my thing. That's what we're going to be showing you how to make today, is the little potatoes that they made at B's restaurant. Back in the day, if you were living anywhere in the South, you would be using potatoes that came out of your garden. Today, we're going to use little canned potatoes because that's what they used at B's. I'm ready to get started making these. Hope y'all enjoyed that little bit of history from my childhood. Let's get started making these little potatoes. First thing that we've done is we have put a tablespoon and a half of butter into this little pot here. If you're feeding more people, there's only two of us here, so I'm only going to use 1 can of potatoes. But if you're making it for a lot of people and you're using 2 cans, just double this recipe. So we're going to melt our butter out here. We've got our butter melted here. So now we're going to add our flour. And on the flour, we're adding in 1.5 tablespoons of flour. So we're just going to dump that flour in there. And then we're going to whisk that flour around. And we need to cook this for a minute or two to let that raw flour taste get out of it. I've got the stove on about a 4. I'm going to bump it up to a 5. We're just going to let this flour and butter cook and just keep whisking it. So we've got our flour and butter mix bubbling, and we've let it cook for about 2 minutes. And so the next thing that we want to do is we're going to pour us some milk in there. And we've got 3/4 cups of milk, and we're going to just slowly pour it in while we're whisking. Now what we want to do is we want to let this milk come up to a boil, a light boil, and we just want to keep stirring it. And we didn't brown that flour because we don't want we didn't want a brown roux because we don't want a brown gravy. We want this to be kind of a white with just a little bit of a yellow tint to it, which is from the butter. So we're just going to keep whisking this every few minutes and wait until it thickens up. Our sauce has been cooking about 3 or 4 minutes, and it's starting to thicken up now. And you can see how it's coating the whisk, and that's what we want. So we're going to turn the heat down just a little bit. We're going to go down to just a low simmer. And we're going to add in our salt, black pepper, and a little bit of onion powder. And y'all know I'm going to leave you the amounts and everything in the description, along with the full recipe and link to the cornbread and the pinto beans. Oh, this is looking good. All right, and now we're going to pour in our little can of potatoes. And this is it's called new potatoes. We got these at Walmart, in which you can see the size of the potatoes. So we're going to just easily pour those in so we don't let them in. We did drain these. All right, so we got them all in there, and now we're just going to kind of whisk those around. I may have to go to a spoon because I don't want to tear my potatoes up, but we want to get those evenly coated and let them warm up with that. So I'm going to get a spoon, and we're going to do it that way. So I got a spoon here, and we just want to turn them over and get them good and coated with that wonderful sauce. And we're going to just leave them in there long enough for them to get heated through and through. And then we're going to make us a plate. But I'm going to show y'all my cornbread. So this is my pan of cornbread, and it is beautiful bottom and top. So we're going to be cutting that and having some of that with our pinto beans here in just a few minutes. So our potatoes are ready, and our sauce is thickened up a little bit. Now, if your sauce gets too thick or it's thicker than you want it to be, this is about where I like mine. But if it's too thick, just add you a little bit more milk to it and just kind of stir it around until it thins out. But I'm really happy with this sauce. You can see it's a little thick, but not too thick. And y'all, I want you to see our pinto beans that we cooked today. Now, when you're cooking pinto beans, there's a couple of things that you need to remember. And I do mention this in the video. So if you go and watch the video on it, you'll hear this again. But when you're doing your beans, when you take your dry beans, and we used a pound of beans, but you got to look your beans. Now, what that means is you pour them out on the counter and you sort through them and you look, make sure there's no bad beans, there's no rocks or anything like that in there. And then once you have looked them, you put them in a bowl and you run water in them and use your hand, and you just get your hand down in there like that and just squeeze them and massage them because they're still dirty. You need to wash them. And you're going to need to do that about 3 or 4 times before you're done and you get them good and clean. So after about 4 good washes like that, and you drain the water out each time, get fresh water, you're going to fill the bowl that you got your beans in. You're going to fill it up to where your water is probably about a ½ inch to an inch over top of your beans. And then you're going to just leave them sit. And probably if you want to cook them that same day, you want to leave them sit maybe 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours. And you're going to notice when you look at them that they've swelled, which that's what you want. So then you pour them in your pan or your pot and you fill the water up and you start cooking them, and you want them to hard boil, and you're going to let them boil. You're going to have to check your water from time to time because they will cook the water out of them, and you will need to add more water to them. But like I say, these are perfect. And they've got a lot of juice to them, and that's what I really like because I actually like the juice more than I like the beans. We're going to get us a plate together and we're going to taste everything. All right, y'all. So there's our times were hard, money was tight, supper. This is something that they would have made back 70, 80 years ago, and probably a lot of people ate it even 40 or 50 years ago. And maybe some of you eat it today. But anyway, this is what we're having for supper tonight. So we're going to give it a taste and see how it is. So if y'all have seen any of my videos where we do beans, y'all know I like to break my cornbread up in my beans and eat it that way. So that's what I have done. Let's see if you can see that. There we go. Don't want to slide my bowl too far forward. So I got me a bunch of cornbread in there with my beans. And we're going to taste that first because it just looks so good. Mm, 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 mm. Y'all, those beans are so good. Now, if you watch that video of us doing the pinto beans, and like I say, I'll leave a link for that in the description. But I think we used ham hocks in that. But now you can use bacon, you can use ham, you can use any kind of pork you want. You don't have to just use ham hocks. So you make it your own, okay? All right, now it's time for us to try our bees potatoes and see if I got close. Mm. Y'all, that brings back memories for me. This may not be B's exact recipe, but it's pretty darn close. I tell you, I'm reliving my childhood right now by tasting these. That's how good it is. So, guys, I hope you'll make this for your family. Share this recipe with your friends for these potatoes and the beans and the cornbread. And, make it because things that folks ate back 70, 80 years ago, 50 years ago, it's dying because our younger folks don't want to know how to cook like this and don't care because, you know, by the time that our generation is gone and it's our kids and grandkids, this food is going to be forgotten, like a lot of Appalachian recipes. So, while you can, make this. I really, really think you will enjoy it. And if y'all ever been through Chattanooga and you've ever stopped at B's restaurant, put us a comment in. Tell us your experience eating at B's. Y'all have a great day. We sure do appreciate y'all being here with us, and we'll see you next time.